My topic for today is our institutional ductal stenting, the difficulties we face during ductal stenting. We all know that duct-dependent circulation in neonates require a secure source of duct-dependent pulmonary blood flow. We started our study in December 2020. It was an 8-month study for all patients with complex congenital heart diseases who were duct dependent. We excluded kids who weighed less than 1500 grams and who had a very tortuous PDA with multiple turns on echo. However, on the CAT table, there were one or two surprises. Also, we excluded untreated sepsis. The pre-procedural assessment was on detailed echo to assess origin and the tortuosity index. Also, in few patients, we did a CT scan for the same. We didn't have a fixed policy for intravenous PGE1. We kept the saturations around 75% to maintain SpO2, and prior for the ducts who had almost 2.5 mm at the pulmonary end, we stopped before the night. Our median age for the patients was 30 days, ranging from 4 to 365 days, and a median weight was 3 kg. Some kids were very low weight, that is 1.9 kg, and highest weight which we did was 7 kgs. We had in totality 25 patients, out of which 16 were biventricular candidates and 9 were univentricular candidates. 3 patients in each subgroup died immediate post-op or immediate during the hospital stay, and 13 were discharged in the biventricular category and 6 were discharged in the univentricular category. Out of the 13 discharged patients, 1 died of late stent thrombosis, in which we did ductal stenting for a TGIVS patient, and 1 died for late stent thrombosis in the univentricular age group, that was a tricuspid atresia patient. 8 patients are still awaiting total correction, and 3 of them are waiting Glenn correction. We did not have a fixed policy of starting antithrombolysis, that is aspirin, the previous night of or 24 hours before the ductal stenting procedure, as it is quoted in many of the studies, but we didn't have any kind of such protocols. We started heparin with 100 units per kg at the beginning of the procedure and kept the ECTs above 200 post-procedure, and heparin was started the next day. We started with 10 units of per kg, targeting an ACT of 200 and an APTT of 2.5 to 3 times for the baseline. The most common complication for our patients was acute stent thrombosis, which is also quoted in few other studies. That is the most catastrophic complication. 2 to 3% of patients succumb to acute stent thrombosis.
Dr. Rishika, sorry, please, just one concluding line, if possible.
Yes, sir. So basically, ductal stenting is a controversial procedure for patients with a duct-dependent pulmonary blood flow, but still, it is in our experience, we find it better than the modified BT shunt.